What's up, you guys? Thank you for clicking on this video. So as you can tell by the title, a topic of discussion that has been within the Transformers community for about 30 years, a little over 30 years now at this point, since the 90s. Clear plastic on Transformers. It's been ruining great figures for 3 decades now, basically. And I'm just wondering when Hasbro is going to either stop using clear plastic for joints. I don't care if it's like clear plastic inserts or if it's like clear plastic weapons or stuff like that, stuff that doesn't require a lot of friction or joints or transformations or actual limbs of the Transformer itself. Stuff like that, I absolutely hate it, for obvious reasons that I'm going to get into here a little later in the video. But I don't mind stuff like that. I actually think clear plastic inserts for like windows and headlights and weaponry and stuff like that are pretty genius when you think about it. But the ramifications of clear plastic ball joints, hinges, all that stuff it's ruined a lot of great figures over the years. I'm thinking of the RID 2001 Car Brothers. I have those, and I'm worried that one day some of the joints are just going to fall apart when I'm posing them or transforming them or what have you, because of how old they are at this point. They're going on like 25 years old now. And not even just on older figures either. I'd even argue it's more of a problem on newer figures the last like 10, 15 years than it was 20, 30 years ago when they first started using clear plastic heavily on stuff. Because especially with the deluxe class stuff they've been doing the last 10, 15 years, they use a lot of clear plastic for the windows and for whatever other details they want to interject into the figure. And for such a small, compact figure, and adding all those joints onto a type of plastic that has been known to be a lot weaker than solid plastic, it makes for not really a fun experience. A recent example I could think of right off the top of my head is Legacy Shadow Striker. The whole top part of the car is clear plastic, and it's got those hinges there for the transformation. It's terrible. And Studio Series, I'd say, is even worse of an offender with clear plastic stuff like that than the regular mainline for Generations. Like Dark of the Moon Sideswipe. The whole side section, the whole, it was ridiculous with that figure. The whole, hood of the car was clear plastic. All those hinges and ball joints. On my copy, I've had it for like 5 years, and there's already cracks on the ball joints and one crack on the hinge for the hood. And I've probably transformed it like maybe 5-6 times over the last 5 years since I've had it. Really nothing too crazy. I really don't play with my stuff a whole lot. I do photography here and there with my figures, stop motions here and there, and maybe if I'm bored or I have some extra free time throughout the day, I pick up a random figure and I play with it for like 10-15 minutes. Nothing too crazy. I don't bash my stuff together and throw them across the room like I'm a 5-year-old. I take care of my stuff. I have respect for my Transformers collection, so you won't really see me playing with my stuff crazy at all. So that's kind of why, that's one of the other reasons why it upsets me so much, because, it's like you breathe on these things and the clear plastic starts to crack, it's ridiculous. Legacy Armada Hotshot, the whole roof is clear plastic. There's no inserts, and that has ball joints and hinges on it. There's stress marks on the hinge piece for that little yellow part to flip inside of the roof of the car for transformation, but there's not really anything on the hinges that connect to the red ball joint on the legs, which is great. I'm not complaining about that, obviously, but it makes me worry that over time that, with how clear plastic is, that roof section is just going to snap right off. And, it really annoys me because I love Hot Shot, obviously. It's the mascot of this channel. It's where I get the last name on this channel from, JaAm. So he's one of my favorite characters, and seeing all that clear plastic kind of ruining the fun and experience of that figure, which I think is kind of underrated. It gets a lot of hate, but I think it's pretty well done, especially for today's standards. But that clear plastic really bogs it down for me. And I've said this before in previous videos, but I'll say it here. A solution for this clear plastic problem is either do inserts, which they used to do semi-often, like 10, 15 years ago, but really nowadays you only see that with more of the big ticket items like Commander Class or Leader Class. You don't really see that even with Voyager Class, and those things are pushing $40 nowadays, which is kind of ridiculous if you ask me. Either inserts or just paint the freaking windows. Just do solid plastic and paint the windows like gray or blue or dark blue or whatever color you want to do the windows. Because these figures are based off of cartoon or comic book characters. We don't need realistic clear plastic windows. And even when they do clear plastic windows, you just see a bunch of robot junk inside anyway. It doesn't make a difference. If you ask me, it makes the vehicle modes look worse, especially if they're Earth modes. It makes them just look absolutely ridiculous. It's supposed to be this robot in disguise, and you just look right through the clear plastic window, and there's a bunch of robot junk just right there. You can see his head, his arms, his hands, his legs. Yeah, you can see the whole robot just by looking in the window of a vehicle. That's a real robot in disguise right there. That's always made no sense to me. And I know there was a bit of a petition some years ago online within the Transformers community. Not like a literal petition, I'm saying that, as like a metaphor, but there was a lot of complaints online about, painted windows back in the day. They wanted their cars to look realistic. They were getting spoiled with alternators in the Car Brother molds. And, with the more cartoony kiddie stuff like Energon or Cybertron at the time, which were a lot more durable, and there wasn't really much of a clear plastic issue with a lot of those figures except for the weapons. Around that time, people were asking for more clear plastic windows. I especially remember during the time of the 2007 movie when people were pissed that the 1975 Camaro Bumblebee Deluxe had painted solid plastic windows instead of the clear plastic windows to look more realistic. So Takara actually went in and made the mold clear plastic, which in turn created a fragile hinge on the legs, on both legs. So I think that's where a lot of it came from, why we have this heavy use of clear plastic for the windows nowadays. With movie stuff, I can kind of understand the argument against solid plastic painted windows, because, it is based off of a movie, and it's not like, it looks like a cartoon. So I could kind of understand clear plastic use on movie stuff. But then again, just use inserts so you don't have a ticking time bomb on your hand however many months or years from now. And in some cases, days or weeks, depending on, what copy you have, the tolerances, how often you transform or play with your figure. It all depends on those things. So even with the movie stuff, it's like, why can't you just do inserts? Well, I know why. Because of budget reasons and parts count and all that stuff that just ruins certain Transformers nowadays more than ever. It is what it is. It's the world we live in. Can't really do too much about it. But it really does suck. But, I just really wish, especially for the mainline generations that we get all the comic book and cartoon characters from, they just stop using the clear plastic windows and clear plastic joints for arms and legs and whatever else. It's just ridiculous. It creates for experience with a figure that is not fun because you're too worried about whether or not you're going to break the figure anytime you play around with it. So I'm just asking if anybody at Hasbro is watching this, which they may or may not be, because they actually do watch a lot of toy YouTubers that talk about their products. So if somebody by chance is watching this video, please look into either just doing solid painted windows that aren't clear plastic, or just doing inserts for the clear plastic for at least the movie stuff or something. There was another point that I was going to bring up, but it totally slipped my mind. I can't even remember what I was going to talk about. Big L on my part. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. Let me know down in the comments below, how do y'all feel about clear plastic use, especially nowadays, the last 10-15 years with figures, whether it's joints for the limbs or for transformation joints or for windows or what have you. All my social medias are linked down below, including my email if you guys want to hit me up about business inquiries, or if you want to message me about whatever, or if you want to commission a diorama from me, because I make dioramas for people for their stop motions photography or their regular display shelves in your homes. You can either hit me up on any of my social media accounts or just email me and we can work out a deal. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching this video. Catch y'all in the next one. Bye!